How we doing out there, everybody? Welcome to our 1102 course for the spring 2024 semester. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you had a nice New Year, good Christmas season with your friends, family, loved ones. So 1102. So 1101 is rhetoric and composition. That's what we're concerned with. Modes of discourse, ways of arguing, ways of expressing ideas. So that's the bulk of what we did in 1101. A lot of reading samples, doing exercises to kind of model those different modes, and then doing an essay on that particular mode of discourse. Well, this time we're more focused on literature. So we are reading works of literature, mostly classic works, but not exclusively, from the 19th century. In fact, your first couple readings, the Kate Chopin and Louisa May Alcott readings, those are two 19th century women writers. And next we're moving on to Joseph Conrad, and I believe we have Nathaniel Hawthorne as well. Joseph Conrad is writing in the early 20th century. And Hawthorne is writing in the 19th century. So we'll be focusing on writers from different backgrounds, different time periods. And the whole point of, at least how I look at it in 1102, is to expose you all to things you might not read on your own. So it might sound academic and dry and, another dead person I have to read. But the way I look at it is, you can't know where you are as an individual in your culture, American culture, world culture, unless you know where you came from. So I like doing foundational literary selections, classics, so that we know where we came from. And not exclusively classics. We'll be reading writers from the 20th and 21st centuries as well. But my point is to give you guys a smattering, a good menu, let's say, of different writers, different time periods, different cultural backgrounds. And this is basically the flow of the course. It's going to be an engagement activity that'll be due on Fridays, engagement activities as in discussion boards, blogs, or journals. And then there'll be a reader response write-up on the Sunday. So, for example, our first week you had the no-show discussion forum. That was your engagement activity where we could talk to each other and I could chime in as well. And then your essay, well, not really an essay, but a write-up, a reader response on the Louisa May Alcott and Kate Chopin selections on the Sunday. We'll do the same thing this week, our second week. We will have a journal on Friday asking you to evaluate the two stories we read from week one, and then the two new reading selections for the week. You will write a reader response on those. That's the Joseph Conrad and I believe it's Nathaniel Hawthorne. If you'll bear with me for a minute, I just want to confirm that. And while I'm doing that, go ahead and give you guys a little outlook of the course. Of course, you could do that by looking at our syllabus. We start with short fiction, so we start reading short stories and things of that nature. Then you could see our next unit is poetry. Then we move on to novella meaning a short, like a short novel, not a full-length novel. And then our final genre of literature is drama, so we will be reading a play, and our final assignment is going to be a research essay on the play that we read. The play is a farce. It's a comedy play written by Oscar Wilde, The Importance of Being Earnest. That'll be toward the end of the term. So right now we're in our first unit, that is short fiction. As I navigate to our course here, just to verify the two selections we are reading for this week. By the way, to know what we're doing, of course, always go to announcements. A new announcement will appear at the beginning of each week. Every other week, it'll be accompanied by a video. So this is week 2, video week. all the even number weeks will have a video. Okay, so let's take a look here. Yeah, so if you look at this week's assignment, this week's announcement, I should say, we have 2 assignments in our short fiction folder. That's the folder we're going to be in for the first few weeks of the class. And basically it's just top to bottom. All right, you go, the first thing that we did was our reader response for the first week. And then if you scroll down in the short fiction unit folder, you'll see our journal on Louisa May Alcott and Kate Chopin. And yes, my mistake. Our next reader response, which is due Sunday the 21st, is a selection by Joseph Conrad and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, you might know as the originator of Sherlock Holmes. So a piece there, and then Joseph Conrad's called The Idiots, which is kind of a tough story to read, but we'll see what you guys had to say in your reader response. And then Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Scandal in Bohemia. So just to tell you guys what we got going on this week, it is the journal due Friday. That is asking you to kind of reflect on the Louisa May Alcott and Kate Chopin story selections, and then you have another reader response. Reader responses, as long as you follow the kind of structure on the little assignment explanation, and you're fulfilling the requirements and the rubric, you should do just fine. You really got to be careful, though, when you incorporate citation information. So, for example, direct quotes or paraphrases from the text. You are expected to do that in the reader responses and the short essays that we do as well. So if you need a refresher on how to do that, I would recommend that you look at some of the introductory information that is in our page, Writing About Literature. That folder, there are some helpful materials in there. And we should remember how to cite information and format appropriately from 1101. For me, Times New Roman, 12-point font, double-spaced, MLA heading is going to serve you well. So yeah, look at our essay guidelines and Writing About Literature. That's going to help you with all of our responses. And the only other thing is beware of plagiarism. I know there's a lot of temptation to just say, the hell with this, I don't want to read this crap, who cares? So let me just look up a plot synopsis online, or just rip it from Cliff Notes, or hell, even get ChatGPT to cook up an essay for me. Now look, I understand. Look, I used to be a student too. The easy way out is awful tempting, right? We always look for the path of least resistance. We're human beings, after all. We want it to be easy. So I can't catch everything. I'm not always going to, know that you're plagiarizing, and I'm not trying to accuse anybody of plagiarizing out of the gate before I even really read anything that you've written. I'm just saying beware. As of this point, I've been teaching for a little over 10 years now. I teach middle school, I teach high school and college level. It's really easy, actually, to sniff out plagiarized information because it either sounds overly specialized, like you're using vocabulary and word choice that a student in an 1102 course likely wouldn't use. Now, who am I to assume you don't know this diction and this vocabulary, specialized vocabulary? It's a judgment call that I have to make. You might have a very erudite vocabulary and word choice knowledge, but if it looks like it's overly doctored, let's say, that's a tell. Also, if it just sounds artificial, if it doesn't sound like a human being wrote it. I am very familiar with ChatGPT. I played around in it myself, so it gives itself away. So I'm just going to say be very, very careful. Academic dishonesty is a really big thing with me. Don't run afoul of that. If you ever have any questions, hey, how do I cite my source? How do I cite word for word or paraphrase from this short story, from this poem? Hey, I found some research online to help me write my response. In fact, you can't do that, okay, at least not yet. There will be essays where you will be able to use outside information, but for the reader responses, these are really supposed to be just your own thoughts, okay? If you look at the assignment explanation and the rubric, you're really supposed to just go with your own thoughts based on theme, conflict, and those literary elements that are outlined in each of the assignment explanations. You have to incorporate at least one in-text citation for these reader responses, and you should not be using any outside help. Okay. Now, if you want me to help you, if you have trouble if you misunderstand something or don't comprehend something fully, shoot me an email. I'm pretty available, even though my day job is teaching middle school. I'm pretty good at turning around emails, you'll find. So if you're ever having any trouble reading something from our textbook, you could let me know. Or if you're nervous about, hey, am I plagiarizing or not, just reach out and let me know. And I am happy to help you guys out with that. All right, so you'll find that I'm pretty flexible. I'm here to work with you guys. You have to turn things in on time, though. It happens every semester. The student kind of checks out here and there and then shoots me an email. Hey, can I turn in all this late crap that I didn't do? It's really annoying. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I want you to succeed, but I'm not here to be a pushover either. So don't take advantage of any leniency on my part. Turn in your work, turn it in on time. You'll see late things count for 0 unless you have a legitimate excuse, an extenuating circumstance. Let me know ahead of time, preferably, and I'll try to work with you there. Very simple. Do what's asked of you. Turn it in on time. Follow the rules. Ask for help. We should all work along just dandy with each other, okay? So I'm going to stop it there, guys. These videos typically anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. We're at about the 12-minute mark, 13-minute mark here. So I'm just going to remind you, week 2, it is a journal response due Friday on the first 2 short stories we read in the first week, and then your next reader response on the Joseph Conrad and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle reading selections in your textbook as well. See you with another video at week 4. Look for an announcement at the rollout of each week on that Monday at 12 a.m. Email me if you have any issues, questions, concerns, etc. Excited to work with you guys, some of you again and some of you for the first time this semester. Peace. Enjoy your week. Bye-bye.